What if I told you? One mask, one stare, and one secret song just turned BTS's comeback into something way bigger than anyone expected. Because this isn't just about a concert, this isn't just about a new album, and this is definitely not just another BTS comeback. Because right now, fans are losing their minds over one very specific Jin moment, while BTS just casually dropped a surprise song that changes everything. And honestly, this whole era is starting to feel dangerously iconic. It all started at BTS's comeback show, ARIRANG, at Gwanghwamun Square, where the group was already making massive noise with their first full group comeback in years. But then, Jin stepped onto the stage for Hooligan, and for a few seconds, everything changed. Because instead of appearing with the soft, elegant, classic aura people usually associate with him, he showed up wearing a mask. And suddenly, Jin wasn't just beautiful, he was intimidating, he was mysterious, he was absolutely magnetic. The craziest part? He didn't even need to say much. Fans were completely locked in just from his eyes. That intro instantly became one of the most talked about moments of the entire show because it felt so different from what people expected from him. It was darker, sharper, more dangerous, and somehow, it made the entire Hooligan stage hit even harder. The way the performance was built around that tension made the whole thing feel cinematic. Jin didn't need over-the-top movements or exaggerated gestures. Instead, he used something way more powerful: control. His live vocals stayed stable and clean the entire time, even with the intensity of the stage. And while the choreography was dynamic, his movement style stayed incredibly restrained and precise, which honestly made him look even more commanding. That's what made the performance so effective. He wasn't trying to do too much, he was making every second feel intentional. And when you combine that with Jin's visuals, yeah, people were done. The performance didn't just impress fans in the moment, it exploded online almost immediately. Clips of that masked intro started spreading across social media and online communities like wildfire. And then things got even crazier. Fans started creating fan art inspired by the look. Others started uploading videos recreating the moment as part of a masked challenge. So now, what was supposed to be just one short stage intro has basically turned into its own mini cultural moment. That's how powerful the image was. And if you thought only ARMY noticed, not even close. Because even Netflix's official account jumped into the chaos. Yes, Netflix. They directly reacted to the moment with an excited post that basically screamed, "Kim So-jin, hello!" And honestly, that was pretty much the entire internet's reaction too. Fans have been saying things like, "It was short, but the impact was insane. He dominated the stage with just his gaze." I keep replaying the performance because of that intro. And maybe the most accurate reaction of all, an all-time great intro. Because that's exactly what it felt like. A moment so brief, but so perfectly executed, that it instantly became unforgettable. And just when fans were still trying to recover from that, BTS decided to make this comeback even more insane. Because on April 3rd, they dropped something nobody was expecting. A deluxe vinyl version of their fifth studio album, ARIRANG. And hidden inside it? A surprise new song called Come Over. So yes, while fans were busy replaying Jin's masked Hooligan intro for the 100th time, BTS quietly said, "Oh, by the way, here's another song." And this one is especially interesting because Come Over isn't just a random bonus track. It's exclusive to the deluxe vinyl, which means BTS didn't just release music, they created an event. And once fans found out what was on the track, the excitement only got bigger. Because Suga participated in the production, while RM and J-Hope are also credited on the song. So already, this isn't just a hidden track. It's a song packed with BTS's identity. And sonically, it sounds huge. Come Over blends stadium anthem energy with pop, which means it's built to feel emotional and massive at the same time. We're talking wide atmospheric synths, heavy beats that sound like stomping feet and roaring applause, and a flowing guitar line that gives the whole song this haunting emotional pull. Basically, it sounds like the kind of song you'd want to scream with thousands of people in one place. And then there's the emotional core, because the lyrics lean into this feeling of being lost, wandering, and then still finding your way back to someone important. That idea of calling out in an empty night, asking if you can come back, asking if you'll still be accepted, that hits especially hard when you realize who the song seems to be reaching for. Because this doesn't just feel like a love song, it feels like a message, a vulnerable one. A song that quietly speaks to ARMY, the people who stayed beside BTS through everything. And suddenly, this comeback starts to feel even deeper. Because now it's not just powerful, not just stylish, not just chart dominating, it's emotional too. And that's what makes this whole BTS era so dangerous. They're giving fans spectacle. They're giving fans mystery. They're giving fans cinematic performance moments like Jin and Hooligan. And at the same time, they're giving fans songs that feel personal and intimate like Come Over. That combination? That's exactly why this comeback is hitting so hard. And if somehow all of that still wasn't enough, the album itself is already making history. ARIRANG, BTS's first new album in 3 years and 9 months, isn't just performing well, it's going absolutely nuclear. The album topped the Billboard 200. At the same time, BTS also landed on the Hot 100. And on the global, excluding US chart, the songs reportedly flooded the top 10 in a way that made this comeback feel less like a return and more like a complete takeover. Then there's Swim. Because while all of this is happening, the title track has been holding down the #1 spot on Spotify's Daily Top Songs Global for nearly 2 straight weeks. Which means BTS didn't just come back with hype, they came back with dominance. And honestly, that's what makes Jin's Hooligan moment feel even more important. Because it wasn't just a cool stage trick, it was a signal. A sign that this era is going to show us sides of BTS, and especially Jin, that feel more expanded, more daring, and more unforgettable than ever. Jin has always had the visuals, he's always had the vocals, he's always had presence. But this comeback, it feels like he's entering a new lane entirely. A version of Jin that's more theatrical, more intense, and somehow even more impossible to look away from. And if this is what he's doing in just one intro, what happens next? Because if BTS is already giving us masked stages, surprise songs, massive chart records, emotional storytelling, and viral moments all at once, then this comeback might not just be successful. It might end up being one of their most defining eras ever. And honestly, we may have only seen the beginning.